Welcome to our daily Zohar Friday. The Zohar now would try to explain to us what happens on Friday Tfilot when we say certain things, and one of them is the issue that we're talking about, or we will start with. It's called Succat Shalom. When we say Succat Shalom, Sukkah, what is a Sukkah? A Sukkah, a hut, right? Shalom, peace, harmony, whatever that would be. So the Zohar says, come and see. And it was trying to teach us. בשעה שישראל מברכים ומזמינים את סוכת שלום זו. When at the time when the Jew says, and they call upon, they invite, Succat Shalom is not just a nice poetic words. Why doesn't it say Ohel Shalom? Why doesn't it say, I don't know, why does it say Succat Shalom? You should know that you're calling upon a certain spiritual entity, and that spiritual entity is called Succat Shalom. So when you call and invite the Succat Shalom, Ushpiza Kadisha, as much as in the regular Sukkah that we sit in Sukkot, right? We call upon the Ushpizin, not the movie, we call the Ushpizin, the guests to come. So is on Shabbat, we call upon Ushpiza Kadisha, those holy guests that we call to invite us on Shabbat. So, and we say Hapores Succat Shalom. When we say Hapores, spreads that Succat Shalom Aleinu v'akol amo Yisrael, on us and all Am Yisrael. Some people even add ve'al Yerushalayim. Actually, everybody has, but some people add Yerushalayim berachama, but whatever. What happens there is a kedusha elyona, that the highest level of holiness comes down to this world. In other words, you learn from here that to bring about spiritual things, or to ask for spiritual things, they don't just come by themselves. You have to invite them in. Sam, close the door. You have to invite them in. So when you call them, and you call Succat Shalom, only then it comes down, and it spreads its wings on Am Yisrael, and protects us like a mother would protect its children. וכל מינים רעים מסתלקים מן העולם. And all bad things run away from this world. וישראל יושבים תחת הקדושה של ריבונם. And then the Jews could sit under the protection of the holiness of their master, which is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. ואז סוכת שלום זו נותנת נשמות חדשות לבניה. And then that Succat Shalom brings new neshamot to his children, to his son, to Am Yisrael. Why? Because those neshamot are placed during the week in Succat Shalom. So when you say Succat Shalom, it not only that it comes and it protects us, but also gives us a gift of this 1/60th of the neshama that we should all get. וכיוון שסוכת שלום שורה ופורסת כנפיה על בניה, היא משפעת נשמות חדשות לכל אחד ואחד. And because of that, each and every one of us gets a new neshama, 1/60th of a soul, an extra soul for extra curriculum spirituality on Shabbat. Because it is very hard for us to bring ourselves from the burden of the days, the grind of the days. And believe it or not, our neshama gets hurt and blemished and grinded as well. Stress is not a physical blemish, or it could manifest itself into that, but it's really spiritual. Distress. So the neshama suffers. Because of that, in order to elevate us, we get an extra neshama. Odamar Rabbi Shimon further said, Shabbat ike'en olam haba. Shabbat is like a part of the world to come. Ve'al ken shmita ve'yovel shavim hem ze lazeh. That's why shmita and yovel, 7, the cycle of 7, are identical. Ve'shabbat ve'olam haba ken hu. And Shabbat and olam haba is the same. Ve'tosefet neshama hi ba misod hazachar. And that extra neshama comes from the, again, call it, the secret of the male attribute. El Succat Shalom, hanimshechet me'olam haba. To the Succat Shalom, which comes from olam haba, from the spiritual world. And this is Tosefet HaNeshama. It gives the holy nation, Am Yisrael, an extra neshama, an extra boost. And by doing so, it makes them happy because they have this extra spirituality in them. And by doing so, therefore, everybody should forget about all the things that happened during the week, all divrei chol, v'kol divrei tsar, and all things of pain and misery, v'chol tzarot, and any troubles that you have. V'chen hu omer beyom heniach Hashem lecha, in which HaKadosh Baruch Hu allow you to leave you alone from what? From all the problems that you have. And when is that? Beyom Shabbat. And therefore in El Shabbat and Shabbat meal, a person needs to taste from all the food that there is there on the table to show Succat Shalom klula bakol, that the Succat Shalom is placed, the bracha is placed in everything, in every piece of food that you have. Uvelvat shelo yichsar as-seuda achat atzarich lo liyom Shabbat. The bracha will come, and you should do whatever you can do during the week, so you'll have a meal on Shabbat. Eat less during the week, so you have enough on Shabbat. And there are those omrim, uvelvat shelo yichsar mishnayim l'shtei seudot. You have to eat at least 2 meals, and it's better to be careful to try to eat all those 3 meals. In every one of your meals, you have to make maybe, if you make 1 single pot during the week, make 2 for Shabbat, make extra to show the extra. That's why Rabbi Shimon used to tell his mother when she used to speak on Shabbat, sometimes she used to speak divrei chol, he used to say to her, Mommy, please be quiet. Shabbat hayom ve'asur, it's Shabbat, you're not allowed to say that. Why? Because the word of Shabbat needs to rule the world, needs to control the world, needs to spread out the world. Not the words of Chol. When you bring in mundane talk into Shabbat, you're not letting Shabbat take over. You're not letting extra spirituality take over. V'dibur zeh, the words of during the week, comes from the dark side. There's no light into it. When you talk about money, you talk about this, it's all about losing. It doesn't come, there's no light in it. On Shabbat you have to speak divrei Torah, spiritual things, read Tehillim, whatever you can. But if you speak divrei Torah on Shabbat and you're careful not to do so, megaleh amukot b'Torah, you would find great secrets would reveal to you on Shabbat. Because it's this extra, it's this additional koach that you get. And it says, Iyov said on that, Megaleh amukot mini choshech. Right, he who reveals from the deep of the darkness, so therefore you have to bring about and as much as you can purify it. Don't bring your everyday clothes to Shabbat. As much as you don't sit with your everyday clothes on Shabbat, don't put your spiritual clothes on Shabbat. The non-spiritual clothes on Shabbat and bring with it about. Shabbat is very important, and therefore I wish for all of us to have a very, very spiritual Shabbat. And this Shabbat will be a beginning for great things for us to happen. Amen.